Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm just getting caught up on some of the filming that I wanted to do this weekend. I have a deck unboxing as well as my top 5 favorite decks. That video's coming out sometime this week as well, around the same time as this video. And I have another unboxing of the beautiful Tarot of the Huntress deck as well, coming out sometime this week. So I wasn't too sure if I was gonna unbox this deck on the channel because it's like a lot of people have this deck. I wasn't too sure if really there would be any point, but I do like to share my genuine thoughts and reactions as well as how I intend to use the deck in my practice on my channel. So I thought, you know, I'd give it a shot and see how I genuinely feel about this deck. So I've never felt called to working with this deck until recently. As you guys are well aware, I started working with the Wild Woman archetype, I believe back in November, alongside Artemis in one of my videos. I'll link it down below. I did mention how Artemis has appeared to me as a face of the Wild Woman archetype, and sort of the energy is shifting to like the horned one, like you know, that energy of like Cernunnos, that raw fertility energy, the primal energy that I've linked to the devil archetype, which I want to share my thoughts on the channel about that. I'm actually creating a video. I think I'm going to film it tomorrow. Like I said, this weekend I'm getting caught up on all my filming. But I've been feeling really called to really exploring the energy of the wild one, or the horned one, I like to say. There's both a masculine and a feminine energy, and I do feel that it is connected to the wild one, or the wild woman archetype that I have been exploring quite openly on the channel now. And this deck, not only do I feel like it would be perfect for working with Artemis's Huntress aspect. Oh, I also heard the guidebook is really, really good. I'll set that aside and we'll go over that in a minute. But there is, it looks like a whole suit of hunters. Like one of the suits has been, I think, changed to a hunter or something like that. We'll go over that when we get there. But yeah, I do think that this deck is excellent for exploring the energy of the wild one. Deities like Cernunnos or Pan, Dionysus, those really primal, instinctual, like lusty kind of energies that are very connected to the land, fertility, the earth, the wild and wilderness. So that's how I intend to work with this deck. I also, like I said, I did want to explore a different face of Artemis, or a different aspect, I guess would be a better way to put that, as I continue my work with her. So the deck did come, as you could see, it was really tightly shrink wrapped, and they came with these plastic sleeves. They're just clear, easy to just slip off. The deck itself it's shiny cardstock, and it's very slippery, but it's thick. Like there's a good thickness to these cards. I think that they'll hold up, at least that's my hope. I don't like how I've actually recently acquired quite a lot of decks that are stored like this, and I really don't like this. I've I typically just get rid of these boxes and I store my deck separately, like in a separate container or bag, typically. I'm actually thinking of just taking the insert out like I just did and then just putting the deck in the box with the guidebook. If I'm not working closely with the deck, I'll store it back in the box, but I don't know, to be honest, I usually just, I keep my guidebooks in my, this is actually, like this is my altar that I'm filming off of, and it's like a vanity dresser. It's actually an antique that I inherited from my husband's parents, my in-laws. But I keep all my guidebooks in like in a drawer here. I have 2 small drawers, so I keep like my candles and some like my tarot bags, any backup tarot bags in one drawer. And then I keep my guidebooks in the other drawer, and I have candles in here. I have a lot of candles, guys. Am I the only one? I have way too many candles. Okay, so getting off topic again. I did hear that this was a good guidebook, so I do want to take a quick glance. So it's a nice thick, like juicy size. It's you get like a black and white reproduction of the card. Look how much information. You get a contents with a preface, an introduction, and then you get into the card meanings. You get a Wheel of the Year. And then it just goes straight into the card meanings. And then you get tarot spreads at the end of the book. So there's the Pathway spread, the Bow spread, the World Tree spread, and then a Walk Through the Wildwood, which I believe there was a book printed possibly by that name, A Walk Through the Wildwood, something along those lines, where I believe that it was like you use maybe like a manual that you could read to connect with the Wildwood Tarot. I did try looking online on Amazon, and I don't believe that it's being printed anymore. It might be out of print. So feel free to comment down below what you think about that book, and if I'm wrong. I could be wrong, but I do think that it's out of print. But yeah, this deck, already I'm loving this guidebook. I think that this is going to be such a great working guidebook. There's so much information. Okay, let's get into the card images. So as always with my unboxings, I like to go through the card images, and then at the end I will pull a card for all of us and read from the guidebook so we can all get an idea of how the guidebook works. So this deck it was stored separately, so I just want to see how the two, because they were stored separately, like half the deck was split. So I just want to see how they're coming together. They're coming together okay, at least on camera. Here's the card backing. Not my favorite, but I do like that color. Okay, so we start with the Wanderer. Wow. So far already getting that energy of the wild faces of deity. I also like that Celtic energy that it has. You guys know I'm half Scottish. My mother's Scottish. My mom actually Highland danced. Fun fact. She was actually quite good, according to my grandmother. Ooh, I really like, off topic, I like the wolf energy here. But my mother was actually quite talented. Oh, they're dogs. Sorry. The archer is, it's not wolves, they're dogs. This is beautiful. Love that deer energy, the stag. Funny enough, that card was called the stag. So here's the hermit, the hooded man. The woodward. Look how beautiful. Yeah, I'm getting a strong devil archetype as well as strength energy. Wild woman, horned god. This is going to be so perfect for working with those aspects of deity. That's beautiful. The blasted oak. The pole star. The moon on water. The sun of life. Wow, that's beautiful. The world tree. And then our first suit is arrows, and we're starting with the court cards. So we're going back. So that was our king, this is our queen. I'm assuming arrows is air. Yes, element of air. Okay, here's our page. Why I also felt called to purchasing this deck was there's a lot of depictions of winter. And as I've mentioned, one of the aspects or symbols, I should say, while working with the wild woman archetype and with Artemis has been winter. So I also wish to explore that with this deck as well. To to really explore the theme of winter and the wilderness. Very typical Six of Swords card. Nine of Arrows. And our 10. I like this teaching moment here happening with an elder and then, you know, a person of youth. I'm assuming this is maybe grandpa. It's giving, like their outfits are giving very Robin Hood. Okay, now we're on to the bows. So this was, as I've mentioned, this is the suit that I was drawn to, really exploring Artemis in her huntress face aspect. Beautiful fox energy, fox moment. So weasel. A lot of cunning energy here, a lot of intelligence. I'm assuming the bow is wands. Let's quickly check that. Fire, yes. So suit of wands here. Beautiful. That's stunning. I love the vivid colors. I like the fire depictions in this deck. I think it looks really beautiful. Like, it's very well done. The way that this artist really captures the element of fire. Wolf. You guys know I'm really fascinated with wolves right now. It's one of the symbols that I keep seeing connected with the wild woman archetype. Stones. Oh, this is for sure Earth. I'm not even gonna look that up. Look how cute that is with the two hairs. I like the keywords. I'm curious to see how they'll work with how I read tarot personally. Aww. I like the caveman energy. I definitely understand why I'm drawn to working with this deck with the wild woman or wild one archetype. This is going to be a strong ancestor deck too. I can already feel it. Okay, and now I'm pretty sure into the water suit. I'm already seeing a lot of depictions of water. Cute little otter. Me and my husband and our daughter enjoy watching. It's like a Japanese YouTube channel with two otters. Which, fun fact about me, absolutely obsessed with anime, Japan. Me and my husband have actually been to Japan, so we love all things Japanese. We really appreciate the culture, and we do enjoy watching this YouTube channel with the two, it's like a male and a female otter. It's really cute. Would love to go back to Japan, but it's really difficult to do while our daughter is still so young. So we're thinking when she gets older, because it's quite a long flight. So it's something that we're going to visit when she's, you know, old enough. I'm sure you can hear it in my voice. I'm still congested. Oh, that's stunning. There's the Seven of Cups. Here's the 8. The 9. And then the 10. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful deck. I'm so excited to get to know it. A card just immediately flipped over, so I think this is going to be a very chatty deck. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pull a card for the collective. Just one, please. Seven of Stones, and the key word is healing. So some of you might be on a healing journey. Maybe this deck calls to you because you are looking for something that can assist you in your healing. I am also feeling like maybe some of you are healers and you're looking for a working deck for your work. My brain is still very getting adjusted. Still getting back on track after being sick. For lack of a better word there. So let's take a look at the guidebook to see how it reads and what we think about it. I do have to say I love the major arcanas and I love the animals. I believe all the core cards are animals, right? But I do really like the core card depictions with the animals. Okay, 7 of Stones, healing description. A green woman sits crossed-legged at the center of the circle of 7 low and weathered stones. In front of her on the ground lies a man dressed in the garb of a hunter. The green woman holds out her hands, palms down, over the body, streams of energy shooting along her fingers. Meaning, after physical or emotional sickness or injury, a time of inner rest and rejuvenation is required. Patient and peaceful healing comes from a spiritual source. Wholeness and recovery will follow a serious physical or emotional wounding. Reading points. One of the deepest apparently I can't read. One of the deepest stages of healing and recovery after any emotional trauma or physical injury is forgiveness. If the healing is from a relationship issue, we often hold on to the pain, mistakenly believing that it keeps us close to the source of the pain. Sometimes we hang on to a sense of loss, loneliness, and betrayal associated with failure of a relationship. Regret can also be associated with these feelings as one questions one's own moves and actions. Yet if you have acted with integrity and sincerity, there is no need to regret. No need for regret. It is a waste of energy and healing focus. If regret is present, more work may be required to understand its underlying causes. One of the elements inherent in bringing healing and closure to any situation is acceptance, along with self-forgiveness. We are neither perfect nor omnipotent, and therefore we make mistakes. The acceptance of these simple truths can bring healing to the suffering soul. So I think it's a beautiful read. There's a lot of information here to sink our teeth into. I do think that this is going to be an excellent deck if you're struggling. This is going to be an excellent deck if you are looking for something that can help you get back to your passion, your calling, just getting back to like your desires, like that element of fire, like that aspect that makes you feel alive again, that spark. Sorry, the camera just stopped recording. Once it gets to a certain record time, it just automatically stops. So, but it's, I forgot where I was. It feels like a very primal, raw, like passionate kind of energy, definitely like devil archetype. And like I said, I do want to create a video on that. And how I like to connect with the devil archetype, but the wild one faces like Cernunnos, or Cernunnos, Pan, Dionysus. They're excellent faces of the sacred masculine. Artemis, I can see other wild goddesses as well. I just got Freya off the top of my head. Let me know in the comments section below if you work with her. I don't have too much experience and knowledge of that pantheon, the Norse pantheon, but I also felt her. I was even thinking Caradwyn. That's interesting that she just popped into my head as well. So definitely a lot that we can sink our teeth into. I love this guidebook. Like there's so much information. And our majors here, you get a position on the wheel as well as a description and a meaning. And then you get keywords at the bottom of the page. And they called the section Roots and Branches. So this is going to be an excellent working deck. Even if you're new to tarot, I have a feeling you could probably really work with this guidebook. especially if you feel called to working with this deck, if you're called to the imagery and you're called to working with the Celtic pantheon or those archetypes or faces of deity that I mentioned as well. But overall, I'm very impressed with the deck. I'm really excited to see how it wants to, or what kind of role it wants to play in my collection. Of course, I already know how I want to work with this deck, but I'm curious to see its personality, curious to get to know it. I'm very excited. I'm very eager to clear the deck and start working with it. But thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.